Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. I'm not quite sure what to do.
Picture this. You're scrolling through TikTok when a shaky, zoomed-in clip from a Coldplay concert fills your screen. At first, it's just confetti, guitar riffs, Chris Martin roaming the stage. Nothing special. Then the Jumbotron lands on a suited guy and the woman beside him. The crowd chants, "Kiss, kiss, kiss." He flinches. She hides behind her hands. Martin laughs and says, either they're having an affair or they're just really shy. Within hours, 45 million strangers have watched the same few seconds, frozen, replayed, and memed it beyond recognition. By sunrise, both faces have names. Andy Byron, CEO of $1.3 billion data unicorn astronomer, and Kristen Cabot, the company's shiny new chief people officer, the very executive paid to keep office romances from spiraling. The internet smells blood, and a family in Massachusetts wakes up to the loudest betrayal imaginable. The Boston night was hot, the stadium sold out, and Coldplay's production team was busy pulling couples from the crowd for the classic kiss cam bit. When the lens locked onto Andy Byron and Kristen Cabot, their reactions told the whole story. Andy didn't just hesitate, he ducked behind the barrier as if his entire marriage depended on that 3-second crouch. Kristen slapped a hand over her face, then peeked between fingers like a kid who knows the monster is real. The audience roared, phones came up in a glittering wave. Chris Martin, never one to miss a punchline, teased, "Well, that was awkward. Either those two are sneaking around, or they've got the shyness of middle schoolers." Cue laughter, a guitar riff, and a billion-dollar reputation beginning to crumble in real time. Back home, algorithmic magic ensured the clip exploded. TikTok's duet feature paired it with reaction videos. Twitter turned it into a slow-motion fail, and Instagram merch makers slapped the still frame onto hoodies, reading, "I took my side piece to Coldplay, and all I got was this viral storm." By noon, the name Andy Byron trended higher than the band itself. For astronomers' investors, it wasn't a power ballad, it was a siren warning of incoming fire. But who was the man behind the embarrassed grin? And why did one concert threaten to blow up an entire tech empire? Andy Byron, 42, loved 3 things in life: big data pipelines, glossy magazine profiles, and posting photo dump tributes to his rock-steady wife, Megan Kerrigan Byron. The couple met at a Boston alumni mixer, married in 2013, and, according to the internet at least, lived the textbook tech power couple dream, him raising millions from venture capital gods, her raising 2 sons and running admissions at an elite prep school. When Astronomer crossed the coveted unicorn line, Andy published a heartfelt post thanking the better half who packs lunches while I chase rocket ships. Employees remember a different flavor of CEO, charming in public, intense in deadline mode, willing to grind 18-hour days and expect the same. He framed everything as a moonshot, one ex-engineering manager recalled. Failure wasn't an option, neither was work-life balance. Until last week, none of that aggressiveness dented his family-first aura. Now every old selfie with Megan and the kids looks, in hindsight, like foreshadowing in a tragedy. Still, even ambitious founders don't implode alone. Someone inside Astronomer had Andy's ear, and apparently his heart. Kristen Cabot joined Astronomer in November 2024 with a polished resume, 15 years in people operations, keynote speeches on cultures of trust, and enough LinkedIn thought leadership posts to fill a paperback. One gem from January. Healthy teams begin with transparency, especially at the top. Screenshot, circulation, irony forever preserved. Colleagues admired her diplomatic instincts. She'd diffuse conflict over espresso machines, mediate squabbles about remote work perks, then lead lunchtime wellness chats on boundaries. She was also recently divorced, a detail only gossiped about in whispers, right up until the kiss cam made it headline material. Overnight, the woman who once enforced HR's no fraternizing memo became Exhibit A of what happens when power dynamics turn personal, and yet the kiss was only chapter 1. The real spectacle began when an army of online sleuths entered the chat. Timestamp 4 hours post-concert. A Reddit thread titled Coldplay Gate, she covered her face because hits r/pop culture chat. Within minutes, users identify Andy by matching the side profile with a 2019 TechCrunch talk. Kristen follows. Her distinctive single diamond necklace appears in a half-pixelated freeze frame, cross-referenced to a company retreat photo. 7 hours in, someone leaking from Astronomer claims the pair booked adjacent hotel rooms under company expense. 12 hours. hours, a fabricated apology letter from Andy circulates on X, gathering 30,000 likes before astronomers' PR team frantically labels it fake. 13 hours, the board calls an emergency Zoom. 14. Slack channels at astronomer erupt with screenshots, speculation, and frantic instructions to keep client comms professional. 17. Astronomer's website goes into war mode. Bios scrubbed, comments disabled, a sterile statement promising a comprehensive review of recent events. Meanwhile, Etsy sellers churn out mugs. Trust me, I'm in HR. Oh wait, the algorithm is now capitalism's accomplice, monetizing schadenfreude at breakneck speed. But the internet's scorn had a softer flip side, one that singled out a woman who never stepped foot inside the stadium that night. At 7:03 a.m. the morning after, eagle-eyed TikTokers noticed a tiny shift on Facebook. Megan had quietly removed Byron from her last name. The alteration traveled across screens faster than any official statement. People flooded her final public post, an old Easter egg hunt photo of her boys, with nearly 2,000 comments in 15 minutes. You deserved better. Girl, take him for every penny. We're all with you, Megan. Hours later, the profile vanished altogether. Screenshots remain. Coworkers at her school reported that she walked in and taught first period reading, smile polite but eyes red-rimmed. She gave no statement, filed no divorce papers, at least not publicly, but the symbolic erasure of Byron from her name trumpeted louder than a press conference. Tabloids plastered side-by-side images. Before, Megan Kerrigan Byron. After, Megan Kerrigan. The subtlety read like a slam dunk windmill. Their two sons, ages 10 and 8, couldn't hide as easily. Monday morning, classmates whispered, teachers ushered them off buses with extra softness, and someone still filmed an unsolicited hallway clip that later got yanked by moderators. It reminded everyone that viral drama isn't a soap opera, it's a family's daily routine turned inside out. And while Megan chose dignified silence, astronomers' investors chose panic. By Friday, Astronomer confirmed both Andy Byron and Kristen Cabot were on leave effective immediately, with co-founder Pete DeJoy stepping into the hot seat. The board's terse memo cited leadership accountability, while business reporters decoded the subtext. Byron negotiated exit terms even as lawyers tallied how many harassment clauses he might have breached. Insight Partners and Salesforce Ventures scheduled back-to-back calls, worried an enterprise pipeline could hemorrhage clients if trust vanished. On Slack, engineers joked grimly, we orchestrate data. Apparently, he orchestrates scandals. Recruiters fielded emails from talent suddenly uninterested in offers. One Fortune columnist wrote that the fiasco achieved in 24 hours, a brand ding worse than a data breach. Meanwhile, someone discovered an Etsy pre-order for a Coldplay Gate vinyl sticker placed by an employee inside Astronomer's own marketing department. That same afternoon, HR flagged the purchase as inappropriate use of company laptop, an irony looping back on itself like an Escher staircase. Yet strip away the corporate jargon, and something bigger remains: how public humiliation morphs into mass entertainment. Kiss cam scandals aren't new, but this one collided with three combustible factors: a charismatic band, a CEO whose salary landed him inside Forbes lists, and an HR exec whose job was literally integrity. Throw in social media's lightning rod algorithms, and the spectacle became a cultural referendum on power, privilege, and the fragile boundaries between workplace and bedroom. Comment feeds oscillated. Some cheered the spectacle, arguing CEOs rarely face swift consequences. Others pleaded for empathy, noting that cheating, though ugly, is human. Feminist blogs dissected the gendered lens. Kristen branded a home wrecker, while Andy's name remained paired with the company he built. Business podcasts debated whether morality clauses in executive contracts are toothless if golden parachutes still deploy. One thread gained traction: why do we treat public shame as justice when the people hurt most, spouses, kids, never ask for an audience? Another clapped back: public shame is the only lever ordinary folks have against unchecked power. The debate spiraled unsolved, but it shoved the Coldplay concert into a larger story about how 21st century scandals unfold. Live streamed, crowdsourced, memeified, and eventually replaced by the next outrage. And through it all, one question kept echoing: is any secret safe when 40,000 camera lenses sit ready in every pocket? Tonight, the lights at Gillette have long dimmed, but the clip lives on in infinite loops across timelines. Andy Byron's once immaculate bio now ends with "on leave pending investigation." Kristen Cabot's LinkedIn is set to private, the modern equivalent of boarding up windows. Astronomer's brand new interim CEO faces a dual mission: keep clients happy and prove corporate culture isn't rotten to the core. As for Megan Kerrigan, no official divorce filing has hit the courthouse yet, but her quiet rebrand sent a message louder than any legal document: I choose my own name, my own story, my own next chapter. So let's leave you with one last thought. If a stadium spotlight suddenly panned to your life, what hidden moment might it catch? And could you survive the internet's verdict? Drop your takes below, show Megan some love, and hit subscribe for the next saga.